Hey guys, this is Achilles with Rollout Reviews, bringing you another LBX review. This time it is Bandai SpruKits Level 1 Achilles. This is the smaller, cheaper variant of the character, and it's so simple in fact that the instructions are printed on the inside of the box. It only has a couple of colors on a couple of sprues. They're very similar in size and quality to that of Japanese candy toy model kits, except for the fact that you don't get any candy, unfortunately. It does come with a sticker sheet, but I really do not recommend applying these. All they do is make the figure look even more cheap than it does. A little bit of blue and a little bit of red is not going to do anything for his mostly solid white color scheme, so I do not advise that. It also comes with a slip of paper that says, keep pieces on sprue until needed in 7 different languages, because I really needed that. Don't tell me what to do! Now, the figure doesn't look all that great. When I first saw product images for this, I thought it looked absolutely terrible. I'm not gonna lie. But in person, it fares a little bit better, just because of the way the light catches in all of the little crevices of the mold. That is one thing I really like about this figure. Despite its lack of color, which, I mean, you can't blame them. It's only a couple sprues, and Achilles has a very diverse color scheme. If they were gonna mold him in one color, I'd rather it be white than blue. That said, the molding itself is actually really good. All the details are there, the proportions are great. It really looks like Achilles, and all of the details are super crisp. I love the way it looks, despite the fact that it has, holes all over the place to save plastic, but it's very nice looking as far as the detail goes. It's just a shame that none of it's picked out by color. If you really want this to look like the on-screen LBX, you're gonna have to put a lot more effort into this and paint it yourself. But overall, I like the way it looks. You got a cape back here that is actually just a sheet of plastic, and to be perfectly honest, I much prefer this rather than a piece of paper or even cloth that the Hyperfunction kit had, because this is gonna stay in one position. It's not gonna droop, it's not gonna, go places that you don't want it to in a certain pose. It stays in one position and can actually look very dynamic, swaying off to the side or back. It's actually really cool. It's on a ball joint here, and that's just fine. Now, one problem I have with the molding of this figure, I'm just going to put the weapons here off to the side. I really think that this hand should have had a tilted wrist, because as is, he cannot really wield his lance weapon properly. You can kind of hold it up in the air, or you can sort of bring it over his body here to have it stab, but it doesn't look natural, and if he had a tilted wrist, he could actually get some of the iconic lancing poses that Achilles is known for, but you can't really do that here. The articulation is okay. I mean, he's got a ball joint in his neck, he's got a ball joint set pretty deep into his torso here that allows some nice movement in the shoulders. Unfortunately, the shoulder armor is part of his upper arm here, so outward movement is very limited. Ball joints in the elbow here bends 90 degrees, that's just fine. His waist actually has a rotation, which is a nice surprise. He has knees here that bend a little bit less than 90 degrees. It is a ball joint, but unfortunately, just the way it's molded, it does not allow a rotation, which is really disappointing. I don't know why they did that. That would have been nice. He has a ball joint in his ankles too, which allow some pretty solid stances, and that's cool as well. But the big downfall to this guy's articulation is not the fact that he doesn't have wrist articulation or anything, it's that his hips are so ridiculously limited by the molding on this skirt armor. They go out that far, forward only that far, and back only that far. There's not much at all you can do with this. It is on a ball joint and rotates, but it's so limiting. And you kind of have to work with this waist joint and sort of rotate this and then rotate this like that to get one leg forward and one leg back. But it's such a chore, and I really feel that could have been done better, even at this scale. Now let's take a look at his weapons. His lance is one piece here, and that looks pretty nice, to be honest. You know, you got the details there. But his shield, while it looks the part, the way it attaches is terrible. He just sort of holds it in his hand via this peg. They really should have had it attached to maybe like the side of his arm or something, because it really doesn't work this way. If you have him hold it like it suggests on the packaging, there's nothing you can do with this. Like, you can bring it up like that and he can serve you a pizza, but that's about it. So I do recommend rotating his arm around maybe like this and then putting the shield in through the back of his hand. And that'll allow you to sort of bring it in front of him like this, which gets a lot more done than the other alternative. Overall, this figure is absolutely flawed. I mean, it's a fun little desk toy, but here's my problem. The price for these things is between $8 and $10. Now, you can get a Japanese candy toy for about 300 yen, which is $3. And you also get a piece of candy with that. I really feel like Bandai is riding on the fact that these are model kits. They're riding on the experience. The building process is being sold to you and the fun you have while building it. Now, that works, in my opinion, for the level 2 model kits because they're involved enough for you to be engaged in that process. This took me less than 5 minutes to put together. There was no engagement at all, and I do not feel like I paid for that experience well enough. I do not feel like there's enough plastic here or play value to make up for that. It looks nice. I mean, I really like the molding detail, despite the fact that there's no blue. And the articulation is all right as well. It's just, with the level 2 kits, despite their size, I feel like they are worth what you pay for. This, I cannot say the same for. Now, I really like the way it is put together, and these ball joints have a really nice tolerance to them. They click together very nicely. Something I really think that they should have advertised on the package is the fact that you can mix and match parts on these things. There's not a whole lot of play value going on with these characters. They have a little bit of articulation. They don't take very long to put together. So really, all that they should have advertised is the fact that you can mix and match them, but they don't even do that. So I feel that a kid looking at this figure in the store, looking at the box, is really going to be disappointed because there's not a whole lot you can do with it. One thing I do like about SpruKits, however, is they are painfully honest on the packaging. What you see here is what you see on the box. There's no false advertising. So get this if you want. Like I said, they are fun desk toys, but really not all that great in the end. However, you get what you see on the box, so you can only blame yourself. Anyway, that is about it, guys, and this is IXRoll@IX, signing off.